Well, hello everybody. Well, today we're going to do something a little different. We're going to take a look at this Ten Tec Paragon. This is last week I went to the Ham Fest, and of course I took a bunch of stuff, but of course had to come home with some stuff. So I found this there, and its overall condition is pretty darn good. I mean, it's really good on the front. Let's see here, the side. I can get this thing to swing around here. And the back is in really good condition. I mean, this thing is really, really clean for, I think, a 37-year-old radio now. But anyway, I've I've did some basic bench tests on this thing, and it works just fine. The only exception is that it's a little off frequency. So I'm going to allow this thing to warm up and stabilize, and then we're going to open her up and we're going to see if we can't go through the PLL alignment procedure on this. I couldn't find any service manual information that was strictly for the Paragon, but I did find one for the Paragon 2, which is basically the same radio, just updated electronics and firmware. So with that, we'll let this thing warm up and we'll get back at it. Alrighty, well, we've had this transceiver on for an hour, so it should be good to go. So the first thing we're going to look for is that we're going to make sure that the reference oscillator is adjusted correctly. So according to the paperwork here, we're going to be looking for a 49 megahertz signal, which is going to be the second harmonic of the oscillator. And we're going to wind up, our test point's going to be jack 27 and C35, which is over here, which is where we're going to do the adjustment. So we will get this thing opened up, and we'll go from there. Well, here we are. Tops off. Yeah, nice construction. This thing looks surprisingly similar to some of my insides of my test equipment, like my HP 3325A there. It looks surprisingly similar in construction. But yeah, nice, man. We got the microcontroller board, RAM-ROM board there. We have the FM board here. That is the low-level noise blanker board, I believe. And back here we have the BFO board. And of course, underneath these two boards, that's where the PLL and the reference board are. It looks like there's an adjustment hole for, looks like the reference, but I guess we're going to have to pop that off, and we'll take a look-see. Okay, well, there it is. The adjustment is right there, that green trimmer cap, and jack 27 is right there next to that header with the red wires on it. So we'll do some probing around, see if there's a convenient place without unplugging that. We'll go from there. Well, guys, I had to do a little compromising. I just put the thing back together, and one of the first things I discovered was the reference board is completely different than the one that I have in this manual. So I was able to adjust that, but I had to abandon that adjustment and redo the BFO adjustments back here. I had to redo the main reference adjustment because I ran out of adjustment on the BFOs, and I really couldn't follow the procedure in the manual. Well, sort of. But there's obviously this thing's getting old because I had to do all the adjustments on 14 megahertz on the 20 meter band. because when I go downstairs to 40, 80, and 160, the further the radio gets off. It gets off about 30 to 40 hertz. And the exact opposite upstairs on 17 and 20, or 20 and 17 and 10 meters, to say the least. It's about 30 to 40 hertz off in the other direction. So I'm not really sure why this thing is doing what it's doing. So it's obviously going to be a much more detailed adjustment. There's probably an issue with the PLLs. So I just have it set just to get good performance. It does pretty well on all the bands, except it's just it's right on frequency on 20 meters, but when you try to zero it in on any other band, the further it gets off, the further you get away from that band. So I compromised and just used the middle of the band. So with that said, I guess I'll wrap this radio up for now. I may get on the band with it and get some signal reports and see how well it works. But yeah, it's really strange. So anyway, I think that's about all I'm going to have for now. So got some other projects I need to work on. This was just, this radio didn't really cost me anything. I sold some stuff, so the money I paid for this was just, splash money. So anyway. Anyway, for that, I think I'll let you guys go for now. I will, if I figure out what is going on with this transceiver, I will give you an update. So thanks for watching, guys, and we'll catch you down the log. Well, one quick follow-up before I let you guys go. I did some more dorking around to this thing this morning. I spent a couple more hours on it, and I believe I have a pin diode issue on the DFO board. After going through once again and following the procedures laid out here in the adjustment manual, I have come to the conclusion that I may have a pin diode issue here, because I can get the thing sounding just fine on lower sideband on all bands. The only issue is that upper sideband, the receive is off. It transmits just fine on upper sideband, but when I receive, it's about 100 and some odd hertz off. So I go in and I compensate a little bit for it, but it's not, I'm just not happy with it. So I was looking at the schematic here for the BFO board, and of course we got pin diodes that select the offsets for upper and lower sideband, CW, and RTTY. And I think this one here, C6, is the adjustment for the mark frequency for RTTY, I believe. I think that's the right one. And this one here, what is it here? C7. That one adjusts the upper sideband receive. Now these two are interreacting with each other, so when I adjust this one gets thrown off. When I set this one to the right frequency, and then I have to go over here and set these two, they set just fine. But as soon as I adjust this one, this is where it all gets messed up. If I leave that one alone and just readjust this and readjust those back to where they should be, it's close, but not close enough. So I think now I'm going to guess that one of these pin diodes is probably leaking, because they seem to switch just fine otherwise. And I tested one of them with the meter here, this old HP meter, and they're all pretty much the same except one, and I believe it's this one here, but I'm not sure, or that one right there. But without a little more dorking around here, I'll find out what's going on. But I ordered some pin diodes. I didn't have any. I thought I had a stash of them, but I guess I used them all up on another transceiver. So other than that, hey, the thing works fine on FM. Thing works fine on sideband and AM and CW and RTTY, but upper sideband's the stickler right now. So, but anyway, hey, I'll figure it out. And with a little help of a vintage HP 3438A there that I picked up for pretty cheap, there was nothing wrong with it other than just oxidized contacts on the switches. The thing worked great for diagnosing the pin diode issue. So anyway, guys, once again, here we go. I'll bid you farewell for now, and once again, we'll catch you later on down the log. Bye.